Once upon a time, in a town wrapped in routine and quiet shadows, stood an ancient building with boarded windows and crooked signs that read, Whispering Library. The townspeople never spoke of it. Some said it was haunted, others simply forgot it existed. But 12-year-old Leo wasn't like others. He noticed things, how the wind paused near the building, how birds never flew over it, and how the street light in front of it flickered every evening as if winking at someone. One foggy afternoon, driven by curiosity and a spirit that didn't believe in ghosts, Leo crept toward the door. It creaked open before he could touch it. Inside, dust danced in golden shafts of light. Towering shelves curled into darkness. Books whispered, not with voice, but with energy. It wasn't scary, it felt alive. Leo stepped in. As he explored, a small book fell from the top shelf and landed at his feet. The title read, For the One Who Listens. He opened it, and instead of printed words, glowing letters rose from the page. Stories aren't forgotten, they're waiting. The pages flipped on their own. The room seemed to breathe. Every day, after school, Leo returned. Each book he touched showed him memory of people who had once dared to dream. A baker who painted at midnight, a young girl who built flying machines, a boy who taught wolves to trust. And slowly, Leo changed. He started painting again, something he'd stopped after his father called it a waste of time. He helped his friend repair an old bicycle. He even stood up to a bully by reading aloud a story about bravery during the recess. One afternoon, he brought his classmate Eva. It's just old books, she said. Wait, Leo whispered. As they stepped inside, the library stirred again. A book fell at Eva's feet. She gasped. By the end of the week, 5 more children had visited. By the end of the month, 20. They didn't tell others, not yet. It was their secret, their treasure. They read, created, played, imagined. The town began to notice. Children who once stared blankly at screens now drew in notebooks, asked questions, and wrote stories of their own. Teachers noticed too. More curiosity, more joy, more spark. Until one day, it stopped. The doors didn't open. The windows stayed dark. The sign had vanished. The children were heartbroken. Leo stood outside the building, whispering, We didn't forget you. Not even for a second. The town noticed the children's sadness. Teachers asked questions. Parents grew worried. But Leo stood up at the town hall waiting and said, There's a place this town forgot. A place where dreams lived. And we found it. We remembered it. And now it's asking if you remember too. He led them back. Together, the townspeople pulled down the walls. They dusted off shelves, cleaned windows, repaired the roof. One father painted a new sign. A group of teenagers built a reading nook. Artists offered murals. Musicians played at the entrance. The library opened officially a week later, filled with laughter, stories, music, and whispers that now welcomed all. And above the door, a new sign gleamed. It became a place where stories were not just read, but lived. Children acted out plays. Parents held story circles. Teenagers composed songs based on the books they discovered. The mayor even held monthly events called memory nights, where elders told stories from their youth. The library transformed the town. Street once silent now echoed with life. Cafes hosted poetry nights. Murals told visual stories people shared again. Not just online, but face to face. Years later, Leo, now a writer, returned. The town had changed. Art filled the square. Music drifted from cafes. Children chased dreams instead of silence. He sat near the shelf where it all began. A little girl tugged at his coat. Are the books really magic? She asked. Leo smiled. Only if you listen. He handed her a tiny book. What is this? Your first story, he said. Now go find the next one. She ran out, laughter trailing behind. Leo looked around the library. Sunlight poured through stained glass windows, casting colors across the floor. He closed his eyes and listened. Somewhere between the pages and whispered, Margaret, the painter laughed. Elena, the flyer gleamed. Jana, the wolf whispered called. They had never left. They had just been waiting for someone to listen. Imagination is not just for children. In forgotten places, like forgotten rooms, can come alive when someone believes in it. Sometimes, all it takes is one curious heart to reopen a world for everyone.